As the parent of a newborn, there are so many little things that pop up that can often make you feel a little stressed or worried, wondering if it's normal or not. Even something as simple as a little sneeze can lead to thoughts like, are they cold? Are they getting a cold? Do they have an allergy? Oh my God, should they be sneezing this much? It feels like they're sneezing all the time. While this is normal for new parents, in many cases, there's actually nothing to be worried about. We both know that as new parents, there's already enough going on. The last thing you need to be doing is stressing about things that you don't need to be concerned about. So in this video, hopefully I can help put your mind at ease a little by walking you through 5 things that often cause new parents a lot of stress, but they really shouldn't. Let's start with the sneezing example. The first thing to mention here is that sneezing is a healthy and normal reflex for newborns. Just like in adults, sneezing in infants occurs when their nasal passages are irritated. This irritation can be caused by various factors such as dust, strong odors, or even tiny particles in the air. And sneezing helps clear out these things that are irritating their nasal passages. Furthermore, if their nose flattens or one nostril gets pushed shut, which might happen while they're feeding, sneezing can help reopen their airways. Essentially, sneezing is your newborn's natural way of getting rid of dirt and other irritants and keeping their nasal passages clear and open, which is very important because babies mostly breathe through their noses. So don't be alarmed if you hear a few sneezes from them every now and then. Now, in saying that, sneezing does happen when a baby is sick or if they have an allergy. And as you know, with a newborn, it's always important to address these things early when they occur. So if you are worried about how often your little one is sneezing, or the sneezing is accompanied by other symptoms like a fever, coughing, a runny nose, or fatigue, it's always a good idea to contact your pediatrician or your doctor for advice. This next one is something that you might be worried about if you're breastfeeding. If your baby is only breastfeeding for 5 to 10 minutes at a time, you might be concerned that they're not getting enough food. But here's the thing, the length of time your baby is at the breast isn't a good indicator of how much milk they're getting. How long it takes them to breastfeed depends on numerous factors, such as whether your milk supply has come in, how quickly your letdown reflex happens, whether your milk flow is slow or fast, if your baby has a good latch, or if they're even focused and feeding or distracted or sleepy while they're eating. It's also important to note that how often and how long they feed can change depending on the time of day. Some feeding sessions may be long, between 20 to 40 minutes, while others might be as short as 5 to 10 minutes, and that's perfectly okay. Babies will generally take what they need at each feeding and stop when they're full or when they're asleep. As a general rule, if your baby is gaining weight, having multiple wet diapers throughout the day, and their poop doesn't look like firm pellets, you shouldn't worry about how long they're feeding for. Another concern you might have is that holding your newborn too much could spoil them and create a child who needs constant attention in the future. But this is definitely not the case. Responding to their needs by picking them up and comforting them isn't spoiling them at all. What you're actually doing is supporting their development in a very important way. When you hold and comfort your baby, you're helping them feel safe and secure, which is crucial for their emotional and psychological growth. This kind of care also strengthens your bond with your baby, creating a secure attachment. And babies who have a secure attachment tend to be more independent as they get older. This is because they know that they have a safe place, which is you, to come back to. This sense of security encourages them to take risks, try new things, and learn about their environment. Essentially, they feel confident exploring the world around them because they know you'll always be there when they need you. Over time, this helps them become more independent because they feel more confident and capable of handling new situations on their own. So don't hesitate to hold your little one as much as they need, because by doing so, you're not spoiling them, you're helping them develop the tools they need to grow into confident, independent children. That said, don't feel pressured to hold your baby all the time. If you want or just need some hands-free time, it is perfectly okay to place them on the floor for some free play when they're happy and content. In fact, letting them play independently is also great for their development. When your baby has time on the floor, they can move their arms and legs freely and practice new movements, which helps develop their gross and fine motor skills. These foundational skills are essential for holding and playing with toys, rolling over, sitting up, crawling, and eventually walking. Furthermore, giving your baby the opportunity to explore and play on their own lets them discover their surroundings and engage with different textures and objects. These activities are important for their cognitive and sensory development. So while it is wonderful to hold and comfort your baby when they need it, don't feel guilty about having some hands-free time, as it's all part of helping your baby grow and develop. Something else that's really important for your little one's development is sleep. And one thing you might be wondering is if it's normal for your newborn to make so much noise and move around a lot while sleeping. The answer, unfortunately, is yes, it is completely normal. Newborns go through two different sleep stages, quiet sleep and active sleep, spending about half of their sleep time in each. Active sleep is similar to REM sleep for adults, but there's one big difference. As adults, during REM sleep, we experience sleep paralysis, which prevents us from moving around as we dream. Newborns, however, do not yet experience sleep paralysis, which means they move around a lot and make various noises like grunting, crying out, or whimpering. They may even smile, frown, or open their eyes, all while still sleeping. All these movements and noises are a normal part of active sleep. It doesn't mean anything is wrong or that your baby is necessarily awake and needs your attention. In fact, when you hear your newborn stirring during naps or overnight, it's helpful to pause and observe. This gives you an opportunity to watch your baby's movements and listen to their noises to determine if they're truly awake or just in active sleep. If your baby's movements increase and their sounds become more persistent and louder, they're likely awake and need you. However, if their noises stay the same or gradually fade, they're most likely in active sleep and you should leave them to continue sleeping. Another thing that might cause you a lot of stress is developmental milestones, especially when your little one isn't doing the same things as their little friends at the exact same time. But here's the thing, every baby is unique and learns at their own pace. Some babies learn new skills quickly, while others might take a bit more time. Because of this variation, each developmental milestone actually has an age range, not a specific age for when babies should achieve them. And this range is often wider than most parents think. Take rolling over, for example. It's often considered a 4-month milestone, but we don't expect a baby to start rolling over the moment they turn 4 months. In fact, it's perfectly normal for babies to learn to roll over anywhere between 4 and 7 months of age. So given that there are age ranges for each milestone, it's really not useful to compare your baby's progress to their peers. Instead of stressing over comparisons, focus on your baby as an individual. Celebrate their progress, and as long as they're hitting the milestones within those expected age ranges, they're doing great. And if you do want to know what these age ranges are for these milestones, make sure you get my free developmental milestone chart by clicking the link in the description below. Now, something I do want to mention is that there are certain milestones that we expect children to hit at the very latest by 3, 6, 9, and 12 months of age. And if they aren't reaching these milestones within these expected timeframes, this raises what we refer to in a clinical setting as a developmental red flag. A developmental red flag suggests that your child may not be advancing at a pace consistent with their peers, which could hint at a possible developmental delay or a more severe issue. Early detection of potential developmental issues allows for prompt intervention, improving your child's chances of catching up with their peers and reducing the effects of any developmental delays on their overall growth. So as a parent, it's really important that you know what the red flags are and how to spot them. So to help you with that, I've made 2 extra videos that go into everything you need to know in detail depending on your child's age. You can see the 3-month red flags here and the 6-month red flags here. So pick the one that suits you best and head on over to watch that one next.